Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's Brother Raya. I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all that mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprisings, the uproars out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, taking notes, being diligent, doing everything they could do to put themselves in a position to shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all you mighty Akwaf out there that actually sincerely reverence your husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Akwaf that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, right? Being shamefaced, doing everything they could do to magnify the Most High in the ministry. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children in this thing, right? Zealous, on fire, abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, making their body a living sacrifice. Right? This is going to be an in-depth lesson on military camp etiquette 101, right? Camp, war, and life of a soldier, right? Let's dive straight into it, right? I'm going to share my screen, right? Give me a strong con, right? If you can see the screen, right? Give me a strong con if you can see the screen, right? And we're going to jump straight into it. Let's go to the mighty book of Deuteronomy, right? Before we get that, let's go to 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 14, and we're going to get verse number 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. The Most High is not with confusion. He's not with double-mindedness. He's not with people that can't keep rank, that can't keep position. Now, it's pivotal for Israel to understand military camp etiquette because Jake just coming out of the world where every Negro wants to be a head honcho. He wants to be in charge, right? He wants to be the top Don Dada, right? He wants to be the leader, right? So he wants to be the chief, but it's not enough Indians type of spirit, right? Jake can't keep rank. Jake can't keep order. Jake's jealous at his brother, man. He envies his brother. He looks down on his brother. He tries to flex on his brother. He talks about his brother's back. When are we going to move as an army in order and in unison, man? Right? We're so divided as a nation. The only way that that's possible throughout the 12 tribes of Israel, throughout the four corners of the earth, is when the Lord comes back, man. But the Lord is coming back for the man that's in order, the man that can keep rank, right? The man that's doing everything he do to make his body a living sacrifice, right? And I'm going to put this out here. Camp's not for everybody. A lot of people, they watch the videos and they think that they could go, do camp. This isn't to discourage anybody because there's a lot of mighty brothers that are well then able and capable of doing the work of the Most High. But certain brothers, they work an 8 to 12-hour shift, maybe longer than 12 hours. Their knees are weak. Their mind is, on God knows what. They're tired, right? They have to tend to their wives, their children, right? It may be a single brother out there. You may have to cook for himself, right? Do laundry, right? Do all these things before the sun go down. May have to go get some food or whatever it is that's going on in your life. You may have to tend to your many children and help them with things when you get home, right? Your wife may need help spiritually, right? Financially, whatever the case may be, right? And you got all of this on your mind after working an 8-hour shift or working a 12-hour shift, 10-hour shift. The last thing a lot of brothers want to do when they get off is go right back on the highways and byways. Hey, the highways and byways, man, is dangerous, right? You could get jumped out there. You could get killed out there. You can get shot out there, right? I mean, anything can happen out there, man, right? You can get arrested out there. When you set your hand to the plow, you have to understand how serious that is. You signed the contract in the Most High's eyes to set your hand to the vineyard. It's as if the Most High hired you. What happens in this man's society when you go AWOL, right? And you're in the army, you just go AWOL, man, right? A dishonorable discharge. What happens when you just quit a job? They'll never hire you again. You'll never be able to join the army again, right? In certain places in job employment, they'll look down at that, man. How much more the Most High? You done crept in to do the work of the Most High and you fell away. Or you say, this is too much for me. I can't do it. We'll say that to our forefathers, man. Because our forefathers were on fire. They were on fire. They were in order. And they understood that all government, right, whether it be the king of supreme, right, of our captivity, or set up by the Most High of our nation, it's all under the order of the Most High. That's why everybody that you read in the scriptures that rebelled, right, they fell away, they wanted to do their own thing, those men got cast down because they could not do things decently and in order. But let's go to the mighty book of Deuteronomy. This is the mighty book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, when thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou. And this is spiritual because when we go on the highways and byways, we see our enemies. We see Moab, we see Ammon, right? We see Esau, right? We see Japheth, right? We see all of these strange people and strange nations on the highways and byways as we prophesy the truth. Yeah, we may see their horses and their chariots, right? Parabolically speaking, man. Right? We may see the police. We may see the tanks. We may see the armory. We may see the buildings, right? The governments and the things that they have set up. And yet they're more mightier than us, meaning more numerous and power than us. Be not afraid of them. For the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Meaning the Most High is always with the chosen. What happened in the time of Elisha in 2 Kings, the 6th chapter? Elisha, he was on fire. He said, open the eyes that my servant may see. Right, let me get that real fast. So with certain things, it's wickedness in high places that we can't see. Spells are being cast on us, right? Evil counsels are being made, but you also have spiritual things in high places that's working for your welfare, like protecting you on your ride home. It's showing your mind, strengthening you up, right? Removing demons, like when you read the book of Daniel, the 10th chapter. It's spiritual things going on in high places right above your head. And the Lord may, have given you mercy to watch this live or watch another live or read when that demon was trying to hop on you to go to sleep. Be tired. Don't do the work. Relax. But we're not dealing with spirits and demons. We're dealing with a soldier-like mind, right? A soldier-like mentality. No matter if you're tired, you're sleepy, you have ailments, right? A lot of people have diseases like epaphroditus, man. Right? He was nigh unto death, sick, but he still did the work of the Lord because you have to train your mind to be under the obedience of the Lord. It's not about your flesh, man. If it was about your flesh, a lot of people would be drunk right now. They'll be asleep right now. They'll be smoking weed right now or committing fornication right now. If it's about the flesh, are you going to tame the flesh, rule your mind, and put yourself under the obedience as a soldier in the army of the Most High? Or are you going to let your flesh rule over your mortal body and destroy you? Let's get this quick precept. It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, right, in verse number 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he's scared. He's frightened. He's worried. He's frantic. He doesn't know what's going to happen. It says, and he answered, fear not. What man is going to say, fear not, when a host is arising? Didn't King David say, though a host shall arise against me, yet will I not fear, in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1 all the way down? So the elect isn't going to be fearful. The Lord said, woe to them that are fearful and afraid. Read the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. The book of Revelation, the 21st chapter, verse 8 all the way down. The Most High is not dealing with a fearful-like mentality. Because when you're fearful, you're double-minded. You lack faith. You lack a surety. You lack a mind of stability, and you lack a mind of confidence. When you're confident, you do things you wouldn't normally do. If you're confident on the court, you're going to shoot the three, man. If you're confident on the court, you're going to make that pass. If you're confident, you understand on a football field, and you might go head up with that brother, man. Not understanding or caring that he's 15 more pounds heavier than you, man. When you have confidence and might and strength, it has you to do the unthinkable and the unstoppable. And that's the type of spirit you have when you know the angels are around you and the Most High is moving through you. Verse 16, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So when you're on the highways and byways, and not just the highways and byways, There are angels around you. Not only are they protecting you, but they're recording every one of your works, right? If you're sleepy, right, and you're thinking about going to sleep, you want to end camp early, you don't really want to feed the sheep, you bringing your problems and your stress to camp, putting spirits on brothers, seditions, heresies, all type of demons of division. Hey, the Most High is watching that, man. Everybody has a so-called like cancer, right? You may have a body. When I say a body, like a government of people, right? They may have a cancer, right? Maybe this one brother or this sister. It's always something trying to attack the body, even on a physical level, right? Your ear may get an ear infection out of nowhere, right? You have mucus and now you have the flu, right? Something's always attacking the body. That's just the way it is, spiritually and physical, until you get rid of that thing. And that's purging out leaven within a camp. Because every soldier isn't going to be the way the Most High designed the elect to be moving, you understand, in battle. You're going to have people that rebel, gainsay, right? Verse 2, and it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day in the battle. And that's what you do when you go to labor, man. You approach into battle. You approach into your enemies. You approach to do the work of the Most High. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not, and do not tremble. Neither be ye terrified because of them. Meaning what, man? You're going to hear horses, noises, torches, lanterns, swords, bucklers, brass, all type of weapons. You're going to hear the earth kind of quaking at the sound of horses and different beasts and men traveling upon foot, coming upon the hill. That could terrify anybody, man. Let 15 horses start running towards you right now, man, with nobody on them and no guns or no weaponry, man. A brother might, he might not know what the hell to do, man. He may not think about the Lord. He may not think fearlessness, right? That could happen to befall anybody. But the Most High is showing you through the Spirit, when you go to war, right, and you set your hand to do the work of the Most High, don't fear. It says, for the Lord your God, he is. So like this is he that goeth with you to fight against your enemies to save you. And the officer shall speak unto the people. Meaning what? There's always rank in war. There's always rank in a congregation. There's always rank within government. You don't even have this man's lawless like system to not have a president, not have a government, not have officers, not have a judge in this crooked society. How much more in righteousness, man? You have to have people set up to lead the people. And if those people are rebellious and going the other way, when everybody's going right, they're going left, that's going to cause division, questions, right? And through gainsaying and witchcraft, that could overthrow and undermine the simple-minded. It says, and the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that have built a new house and have not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that have planted a vineyard and have not eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle and another man eat it. And what man is there of you, so like you're there, that have betrothed a wife and have not taken her? Let him go and return into his house, lest he die in a battle and another man taketh her. Why is the Lord saying this? And if a man have planted a vineyard, and if a man have built a new house, right? And if a man have betrothed a wife, because if you're in war, your mind could be on earthly carnal things. That's why the Lord is saying, look, go home, get that situated. Make sure that you take care of your wife. Make sure that you planted your vineyard. You set your hand to the labor of these things, that you finish your work, right? That you make sure that all of these things are complete. Because if you're at war and you're thinking about your wife, I want to make a home to my son. You start making split decisions that aren't wise. You're thinking about your vineyard in war, right? You're thinking about carnal things. And a lot of people, when they in doing the work of the Most High, right, whether it's teaching, laboring, and I'm talking to sisters too, right? They may be serving, they may be taking care of children, they may be sewing, right? They may be giving advice, right, through experience of being married and what you ought to do, right? All of these different things, if you're not in a right mind as you're doing it and serving it and going to war and defending the gospel, right, doing the work of the Most High, it's not going to be at its full-fledged extent that it needs to be in. And it's going to cause you to accept, it's going to cause you to debase in war. So if my mind is on bills and I'm at camp, right, I'm not going to read the same way. I'm not going to teach the same way. My mind is on my woman all day long. It's not going to have me to want to remember that precept. My mind's going to get defiled. My heart's going to be wavering. You have to know why you put your boots on, man. You have to know why you woke up this morning. A lot of people don't even know in this world the reason they exist. How lucky and blessed are you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to know who you are, know why you exist, know the will of the Most High, know what He desires from you, know how to get the kingdom, which is a mystery in itself, know who the Most High coming back for, know how to set your hand and do the work, what the Lord wants you to do, right? Defend the gospel. You know all of these things, man. Know why you went to camp. It wasn't to be seen. It wasn't to get views. It isn't to be the top man in Israel. And it damn sure isn't just to debate, man. Because a lot of brothers just go out there and just debate. They study all week. They study all month. They take their knowledge, being puffed up in it, and they go out there thinking they're doing some valiant act to get views, man. The Most High is not with the views. Why? Because the elect is gonna fall on the elect's ears regardless if it's 1 million views or if it's 5 views. Because the elect may be that 5 views, and 1 million may be all of Esau, all of Moab, all of Ammon, right? All of people in strange cities and other coasts that this thing went viral, that they looked upon just to laugh and get a kick out of. Who are these niggers, right? Shaking their stick. Look at this. It's a spectacle. So don't think that numbers, views, or anything is notoriety with the Most High. The Most High has never dealt like that. Neither will He. That's not written. The Most High always takes man out of the dust and has them to sit upon thrones as princes, man, and rulers. It says, verse number 8, and the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. Right? So that spirit could hop on somebody, man. Right? Let it be 15 sisters or 15 brothers or whatever the case may be going on, man. And 15 of them say, well, you know what? I think it's about to rain in a little bit, and I think we should just go in. Right? It's nothing but sheep outside. Right? It's nothing but edification could go out. And they don't do it. They don't hearken into that. Right? I mean, anything can happen. So you got to see how these seducing spirits could try to overthrow you. But I'm about to come back to this precept. I want to get the book of 2nd Chronicles. Let's get the mighty book of 2nd Chronicles. Let's get some accounts in war and how our forefathers dealt in battle and their mindset in war. It's very important. Right? This is the book of 2nd Chronicles, chapter 20 and verse 13. It says, and all Judah stood before the Lord with their little ones, their wives, and their children. So you have to understand, in the ancient world, when we fought, the women didn't just disappear, and the children just didn't disappear, man. We had to fight for our camp, our little ones, our wives, and our children. It meant more in the ancient world that these heathens could take all we got and spoil us, rape our women, and make our children slaves, or we're going to fight for our wives, our children, and defend the Most High's honor, man. And you have to have that same mentality as you go out there at camp. I have to defend the gospel. If I get confounded, I make the whole nation look bad. If I don't know this precept, I make the Most High look bad. Because you're a representation of the Most High. You're an ambassador of Yahushua, right? You have to remember that. We're all ambassadors of Yahushua, meaning we represent the Lord. So if you ever put yourself in a position to teach, to read the whole post, to do the work of the Most High, you have made your face a representation of what this truth is all about. Whether you're a hypocrite, whether you're just always cussing and defaming the ministry, no matter what you're doing, an outsider is going to look at the truth through you. And whatever impact you had on that brother or that sister, that's what's going to resonate in their spirit when the truth comes back up. Israelite, Hebrew, Yahushua, Yahweh, the Most High. All of these things, traumatization and what they have experienced, they're going to recollect. Because why? You're not thinking about the hidden CEO. You're thinking about that physical drive-through of going through Popeyes or wherever you went in that one experience. Look, I'm not eating there no more, man. I can't deal with this place. And no matter if you're in a different state or not, that mentality is going to be there. It says this in 2 Corinthians, right, chapter 20 and Salakia, chapter 5 verse 20. Now then, we are ambassadors for Yahushua, as though God did beseech you by us. We pray you in Yahushua's stead, be ye reconciled to God. So we're made ambassadors, right, of Yahushua. Verse 14. Then lifted up Jeziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaniah, the son of Jeiel, the son of Mathaniah, a Levite, the son of Asa, came the Spirit of the Lord in the midst of the congregation. So whenever war kicks off, we always read, just like in Deuteronomy 20 and the book of 2nd Chronicles, the 20th chapter, you always have somebody to rise up to exhortate the people. And you have to be exhortated in war, man. That's why I love going to camp so much, because I could be catching hell throughout the week, right? And it don't matter what it is. Any brother could be catching hell. Financially, it could be their household, right? It could be an ailment. It could just be plagues of the mind and, dark dreams and spirits and demons, right? People trying to attack you, right? A death in the family. You catch hell constantly. And when you go to camp, you know what I hear? I hear the word to the Most High. I see a brother smiles on their faces, man. I see a warm, loving spirit. I see a brother sincerely checking on you, man. Is everything all right? It means there's something you want to talk about. I get counsel from camp, and it isn't just camp, man. You don't just classify it as camp. It's a congregation. We're commanded to congregate. You can't look at it carnally. You camp brothers, man. All y'all brothers in camps. Y'all brothers in camps and da-da-da-da, my experience with camps and all of this madness, man. We're commanded to congregate as a nation of people. Why? Because the Lord says 2 is better than 1. And the 3 cord is not easily broken. So the Most High always raises up exhortation in the camp. And you need that. You're not going to exhortate yourself to go harder, man. You know what you're going to do? You're going to make excuses. You're going to make excuses according to your will. I was tired today. I did work a 12-hour shift. That's what your mind's going to tell you. But what is a brother going to tell you? Hey, look, Nehemiah and them, they was kind of out there for 14 hours. I think you can go 2 more hours, just like our fathers. They're going to give you more of an optimistic, pushing you mindset on seeing things on the other side of the fence than you would even look on. Right, let me get this quick precept, and I'm going to come back to that one. Right, it's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, in verse, right, number 20. And it says, so we labored in the work, and half of them held spears from the rising of the morning, right? And that could be anywhere between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, till the stars appear. And the stars kind of come out like around 10 o'clock, the end of 9, 10 o'clock-ish, right, around that time, right? So they were doing the work for hours upon hours, man. And they didn't care if their feet were tired, if their feet were swollen, right? They didn't care if, certain things were accomplished or not. They wanted to do the work of the Most High with a willing mind. Likewise, at that time, saith I unto the people, let every one with his servant lodge within Jerusalem that night, that they may be guard to us and labor on the day. So they were sleeping, right, upon their watches, and they were taking watches back and forth that they may do the work of the Most High. So neither I nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men, the guard which followed me, none of us put off our clothes, saith that every one put them off for washing. Meaning they didn't stop working and didn't change their clothes and get comfortable unless they were washing them to put them right back on to do the work of the Most High. So that's how this thing gets down when you go to camp, man. Right? And going to camp, it ain't all what a lot of people make it out to be. Like I said, you have to be mentally strong to go to camp. Mentally, man. Because like I said, the physicality of being tired, the physicality of being sleepy, right, and your body hurting and aching, right, and even your voice going out, man. Brothers have taught, for 3+ hours before. Right, brothers have held, 24-hour live before. The more you speak, and only a speaker can really perceive what I'm saying, the more you speak, it's like you burning calories in your stomach. Or the more, you yell and lift up your voice like a trumpet, you can't stop and say, I need a break, man. I need some water. It could be a heated debate going on and demons coming up, man. You're the representation of the Most High, and you have to defend the gospel. Right? Verse 15. And he said, hearken, all ye Judah, all Judah, and ye the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat. Thus saith the Lord unto you, be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but Yahweh's. Meaning what? The Most High will fight for you in every situation, right? Jumping down to verse number 16. It says, tomorrow go ye down against them. Behold, they come up by Cliff Ziph, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook before the wilderness Jeruel. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of the Lord with you. O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord will be with you. What does that mean? What is that going into, man? The Lord said you have no need to fight in this battle. Let's read it. Verse 21. And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers unto the Lord, that they should praise the beauty and holiness as they went out before the army. So they're getting ready to go to war, right? They have the singers, everybody getting in order. They're all praising the Most High, and they're singing as they're going into battle. And to say, praise the Lord, for his mercy endureth forever. It says, and when they begin to sing and to praise the Lord set ambushes against the children of Ammon. So we didn't even have to go to war. There's certain things we don't even have to do, man. You may not have to fight that crackhead. You may not have to fight those brothers that's trying to jump you. You may not have to fight off the police. The Lord said, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies at peace with him, man. So you're wondering why the police are letting you off. You're wondering why you didn't get stabbed or shot at, or they did shoot at you, but it went every which way but hitting your flesh. That's the Most High standing for you. The Most High set an ambush against the children of Ammon, Moab, Mount Seir, which come against Judah, and they were smitten. This is the point. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, meaning the Lord confounded the nations for them to fight themselves, and we didn't even have to fight them. And that ends up happening, man. You may be teaching, then the spirits coming at you. Next thing you know, those two brothers start arguing. Next thing you know, those brothers take their focus off you, and now they're feuding. They're fighting, right? They want to go to war. They putting their hands up, man. Next thing you know, man, they taking it down the street, and no harm is done to you. Lord said, do my prophets no harm, man. Utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. And that's beautiful because we didn't even have to do that before, man. Hey, the Most High literally fought for us and turned our enemies against us. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book, right, of 2 Kings. I want to touch on camp order because camp order is very important. Now, for everybody that does go out in the highways and byways, a lot of brothers say, I don't see this in the scriptures. They may say that secretly in their mind, or why do I have to do this? And why do I have to do that? Well, being wise, if you're at war, and even in the ancient world, when we went to war, right, I'm going to get this real fast. We always had watches, and we always encamped around holy things. Right? When you look at the camp in the wilderness, you had Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, right? And then you had Zebulun, Naphtali, Asher, Dan, Benjamin, Ephraim, Manasseh, right? You have Reuben, Simeon, and Gad. And out of all of these men, they all camped around the tabernacle of witness. And then within the tabernacle of witness, like around them, right, you had the Levites. Now within the Levites, you would have the tabernacle of witness. Right, like you see right here, it says Moses and Aaron. And then you will have the elect of Levi around the tabernacle of witness, showing you that we always encamped around and set watches. Right, let me get this quick precept. It's 2 Kings chapter 11 and verse number 7. And 2 parts of all you that go forth on the Sabbath day. It's like on the Sabbath. And we go forth on the Sabbath to do the work of the Most High. Even they shall keep the watch of the house of the Lord about the king. So what's in the commandments? What's in the statutes as our forefathers, you understand, on the Sabbath day? They set watch over the house of the Lord. Meaning what? The house of the Lord is the camp. The house of the Lord is the sanctuary. The house of the Lord is the temple, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst thereof. Right? And you're treading of foot and coming before the Lord as you come before the servants, the prophets. So we have to keep watch. That's why you see certain men stand on the east, right? You may have certain men on the west, right? You have certain men on the north, they're on the south, and they're watching about making sure that camp is in order. Because you may have a demon, a spirit, a nation, or whatever the case may be, watching you or trying to breach in from the side. Verse 8, and ye shall compass the king round about. And spiritually, the king would kind of be like the teacher. And you would make sure the teacher, right, is compassed round about as he's teaching. You don't want to just be a brother teaching and then out of nowhere, a scoff would just knock you upside the head coming from behind you. You had nobody watching, right? The cameraman, he's too busy, catching a dove, right, flying by, right? He doesn't know what's going on. No, you have to have men that are protecting and round about the house of the Most High on every watch. It says, ye shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapon in his hand. Now, we don't carry weapons, but your modern day weapon in the spirit, right? You will have your Bible, obviously, the angels, but you will have your staff. And every man is girded with a staff as he holds post. But if you've ever been to camp or watch camp, you have men that got staffs in their hands. Anybody come too close, and they may jab them with the staff. Not the brothers are out there trying to fight, pick fights, or looking for fights, but you have to protect the house of the Most High and brothers that aren't looking, because the Lord said, thou shalt not stand against the blood of thy neighbor in the law. I mean, you can't watch your neighbor get harmed or hurt and you did nothing about it. But that's the spirit of Jake right now with their camera phones. Your brother's getting his you-know-what beat, and you take out your camera phone and watch. You're standing against the blood of your neighbor. You're watching your brother get harmed. You're watching your sister get beat. The Lord said that thou shalt not forbear them that are drawn into death. Paraphrase, right in the book of Proverbs, the 28th chapter, 24th chapter. Let me at least get one of those precepts. So you have to defend your brother at camp, man. You're commanded to defend your brother. And that may make people uneasy too. Camp's too loud. Those brothers out there are too aggressive. I don't like that. I'm so comfortable behind my computer screen. I could cut the heat on and cut the air conditioner on and home sweet home. Right? This is the book of Leviticus chapter 19, right? And verse number 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. So that's in the law. You can't stand against the blood of your neighbor. You cannot witness a fight going on, your brother getting harmed, or somebody trying to breach into the camp to do God knows what, and you not defend your brother. That's in the law. The Lord said in the book of Jeremiah, right? So like I have a lot of precepts going into war. I want to stay on the topic, but the spirit, right? Let me get this quick precept real fast. Jeremiah chapter 28, so like 48 and 10. It says, cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully. Right? You may come to camp in a wrong spirit just to teach, and God knows what. You're not moving in the spirit of the Most High. You're moving in the spirit of pride, right? And self-glorification, renownness, right? And unpopularity. It says, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. So it's a cursed thing if you don't go to war, right? That's in Numbers. Let me get this quick precept. It's going to be my last one before I go back to it. Right? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 32, right? And I'm going to start at verse 6. And Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? And that's asking you a question. For all you brothers that are in camps, all you brothers that do the work of the Most High, all you brothers that do set your hand to labor, and you only go on Saturday and you don't go on Fridays because you're too tired. Your back hurt. Right? You just had a bad day, man. Right? Your boss was getting on you. Right? Your car is making that ticking sound. Right? It's making that ticking sound. Right? Your phone just went dead and nothing's going right for you. So you're going to go confide yourself in that pillow in that bed, man, in the comfortability of your house where the AC is blasting, right? Your woman put the children to sleep and you can do your own pleasures. Hey, the Most High shall show your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? Meaning, what are you doing sitting here? You have to go to war. You'll be daggone if everybody going to war and you stand behind. You should be ashamed of yourself, man. For all you brothers that know to do right and you don't do it, shame on you, man. Straight up. Right? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 32, right? And I'm going to start at verse. Let me get this quick precept. I'm going to start at Salaki, bear with me. I'm going to start at, let me see. Salaki, bear with me. Verse number 19. Right? I'm going to start at 20. This is the point. It says, and Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, the thing is go to war. If ye will go armed before the Lord to war. Now the Lord is posing a question. He said, if you do this and will go, all of you armed before Jordan, before the Lord, until he have driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before the Lord, then after ye shall return, meaning from war, and be guiltless before the Lord. The Lord said, look, if you go to war, you defend the nation, your back's going to hurt. You may even get harmed or injured, right? You may not have a fairy tale ending in your mind the way you want to, man. Your car may run out of gas, right? In war, it isn't sweet. It isn't easy in war, man. People's arms get chopped off in war. People get blown up in war. People don't come home in war. They see their brother die in war. The Lord said, look, if you do this thing and go armed before me, then afterward, ye shall return and be guiltless before the Lord. Meaning you have blood on your hands if you don't go to war, if you don't do the Most High's will, if you don't defend the gospel. You can't be in this truth, God knows how long, and don't even try to pass out a fly. Don't even try to do anything. I mean, anything at all, right? Let's go to the mighty book. Let me see what I want. I want to get Judges. Now, within an army, you always have the elect within an army. Now, the elect within the army, you have an army that the Most High chops down and the Most High builds up. Now, an army is the camp, the congregation. Now, I've never seen a congregation, the brother could correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen a congregation that never lost anybody. You know, whether they stopped showing up, whether they got kicked out, you know, whether this brother just was evil and, you know, take some time, take a suspension, you know, get yourself together. I've never seen an army that never had friction. You know, even in David's army, right? You had Joab going off, man. Right? Even in Judas Maccabee's army, right? You had division, right, among the captains of the host that wanted to go out and do their own thing. Right? It's always been that way. This Judges chapter 7, right, in verse number 2, right? And it reads, and the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many. Meaning there's too many people in this army. And the Most High may see the congregation or the nation and say, well, you know what? I don't need him. I don't need him either. He's slothful. He doesn't want to do the work of the Most High. He hates his brother. He's doing God knows what when the sun goes down. And it's just too many people here. So the Most High trims down the fat and he removes leaven and evil out of an army that's supposed to be upright of one mind. It says, for me to give the Midianites into their hand, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, my own hand have saved me. Right? And if you have too many soldiers, Israel could be carnal. Right? Because if you study, you know, so much and, you know, you don't went over your precepts 95 times and you may start to think, well, maybe it was my study. You know, maybe it was my long hours. And, you know, I've been on fire lately. You start vaunting yourself, right? If you have too much. That's why the Most High has to take things from you sometimes that you may appreciate what he's doing for you and what he gave you. You got people that study for tests for 5 hours and still can't remember 10% out of the things that they study. Then you can have people that only skimmed over it for 15 to 35 minutes, which can pass a quiz and it stay with them to the day that they give up the ghost. That's all a blessing and the mercy of the Most High. Verse number 3, It says, now therefore, go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early. So the Lord is asking a question, or whoever's of fear and afraid, they could go home from Mount Gilead, and there return of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remain 10,000. So the Most High asked the question, who's fearful? Who's scared? Who don't really want to go to war? And the people that left were 22,000 men. And that's deep, man. Because if we kind of took this same spirit and applied it to your congregation, how many people will go home? Hey, raise your hand if you're tired. You know, raise your hand if you really don't want to be here. I don't want to put it like that, but you know, raise your hand if you miss your woman. It's been 2 days. The sun is down. The sun's been down for a minute. How many people gonna raise their hand? And it was more than half of the camp in the army that got trimmed away. Verse 4. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. I mean, even after the Lord removed 22,000 soldiers, the Lord said, look, it's still too many men. It's still too many soldiers. I don't need all of these people. The Lord don't need a vast, great, serious, mighty army of valor that's 20 million strong, man. Hey, the Most High can do it with 300 soldiers, just like when you read this book in this chapter. Bring them down into the water, and I will try them for thee there. Meaning the Lord's trying the army, meaning what? He's seeing who's strong, who's mighty, their mentality, if they want to go to war, if they don't want to go to war, if they're arming themselves, they're practicing for war. All of this goes into war-like mentality and structure. You have to be like a king at all times in the way you think of the law, the way your judgments are, right? And executing warlike type of strategies as you go out. Right, like Joshua in the 8th chapter, when they defeated Ali, as they sit in a camp, right, to the sun, over the hill, and then they rise up and they flee before their enemies just to entrap them before the greater army to destroy their enemies, man. That's military type mind, man. In the same way, you got to know how to destroy these doctrines, these philosophies and things going on, man. Okay, I assess the situation. This man has a knife. Now, who in my camp do I know it's armed physically? Or who do I know? Not when I say armed physically, I don't mean with any weapon. I just mean it's capable and able of issuing in protection. You understand? Physically, to protect his brethren, not to provoke a situation or be foolish. You know, who's fearful? Let that brother be behind, or a little bit more timid, or younger, or he's only been in the truth maybe a year, and his brother has 10 years experience. Assess the situation as a king, right? And as a man that's in an army, so that your army could fare well. Even the Most High has Yahushai at the head of the army, the 144,000. Everything is broken up, right? It says this, bring them down to the water, and I will try them there, and it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee, and of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So who leads you in the war? The Most High does. The Most High tells you when to go to war and when not to go to war, and who goes to war and who gets destroyed in war. Let's get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of 2nd Chronicles, right? Chapter 14, and I'm going to start at verse number 9, right? Now, this is how you set up a battle in a battle array. It says, and there came out against them Zerath, the Ethiopian, with an host of 1,000,000 and 300 chariots, and came into Mishra. Then Asa went out against him. So let's see the mindset of a king as he's going to war. And they set the battle in array. Meaning what? They set men up according to how it should be. Whether men are coming on this side, men are coming on that side. He set the battle up in array. This one man. What if that one man didn't set the battle up right? What if it was too many people on the left and not enough people on the right? What if he was drunk as he was setting the battle up? What if your mind not right as you're issuing things that you ought to do to protect your brethren in war, man? You have to believe, you have to understand these things, man. Here your brother's teaching, he looking for that precept and nobody knows it. Now you're making the ministry look bad. What if it's you that's teaching and you're quoting timelines and dates all wrong? You're not setting things up right to prosper in war. It says, and he set the battle in array in the valley of Zethra and Mishra. And Asa cried unto the Lord his God and said, Lord, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with army or with that have no power. Help us, O Yahweh our God, for we rest on thee, and in thy name we go against this multitude. O Yahweh, thou art God, let no man prevail against us. All right, this is the point. And the Lord smote the Ethiopians before Asa and before Judah, and the Ethiopians fled. And the Lord said the wicked flee when no man pursued. We've seen many of times that camp people fled and they literally ran from the words of the Most High. We've seen it. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to 2 Chronicles, right, chapter 17, and I want to start at 10. Now going into this, right, you have nothing that's going to harm, right, the prophets in the men of the Most High, right? You can't be fearful or afraid of that, right? Let's go to it. The 2 Chronicles, chapter 17, and verse number 10. And the fear of the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the lands that were round about Judah. And the Lord can do that. You know, nobody want to come up against, you know, Israel, man. Right? And this is physical, but how much more spiritual? You got to let these people know that this is the truth. Yeah, it's the truth because the Most High said it's the truth, and can't nobody gainsay the Most High. But you got to make the truth manifest, man. You got to show these people that are of your nation why this is the truth. Show them the power of the Most High, right? These brothers are quoting hundreds of precepts off the top of the head. Any subject, any topic, any time, at any moment, man. How is this not the truth? Who are these guys? How is this possible? Not even your top historian and scholar can do that, man. What's the timeline and date of this and this war and this time? Well, I'll have to check my studies. He gets manacle, right? He calls somebody up, or he'll whip out that big book and he'll go into it, or he'll go to his library and he'll pull up all of his ancient books. Nobody would know all of these things off the top of their head if this wasn't the truth. How is this possible? But through you being an ambassador in the face of the Most High, your glory, the Most High's glory has to shine through you. The Most High is using you as a vessel. Aren't we going to be his battle axe? Did not he make us a sharp threshing instrument? Don't we read these things in the book of Isaiah, the 41st chapter? Why are we a sharp threshing instrument? To thresh, man. To kill, to destroy, to move, to divide, asunder. This is what the Most High does. He manifests himself through man. You understand? Through earthquakes, volcanoes, right? It says this, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. Meaning everybody was afraid of the Most High that they didn't harm the prophets. And in these days to come, they're going to realize what a servant to the Most High. It may not hit them as of now. Those brothers with their capes on and their carpets and their bed sheets with the holes on the top of them, and these brothers with these sticks in their hands and these ram horn heads, and these brothers out here just screaming and acting outraged. They always got on all black, or they always got on all this, and who are these guys? But this going to turn into that, into I wouldn't touch him, man. The Most High is with him. Didn't it say that in the book of Revelations, that 11th chapter? If any man harm him, fire proceedeth out of his mouth, right, to destroy his enemies, right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Joel. Matter of fact, let's go to 2 Chronicles. I'm going to get one more in these accounts, right? Because Chronicles is a track and a record, right? And these records are to let us know how our kings did and the things that went on through the spirit, right? Matter of fact, let me get Joel. I'm going to get that first. Right, it's the book of Joel, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse number 10. It says, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right, this is the day of the Lord and the army of the Lord. And this army is the elect, not the wisest brother in Israel, not the brother that's the strongest man in Israel, but the elect is going to be in order. They're going to be in rank. Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his army is very great. And the Lord loves war. He's a man of war. Yahweh is his name. For he is strong that executeth his word, for the day of the Lord is great and terrible, and who can abide it? It says there also, right? It says this, there also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, with all fast and weeping and mourning. Right? So the Most High is like letting you know over and over, right? He deals heavily with army, with war. Right? These things are pivotal, right? When you go into war, man. You have to understand, what the Most High shows you of his mind to go to war. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Right? Verse 7. It says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one in his way, and they shall not break ranks. Right? It's not going to be any niggas in the Most High's army, man. It's not going to be any men that want to secretly rule over the brother that's in charge or the brother that's leading. It's not going to be any brother that has secret envy, right? If I was running the camp, this is how I would do it. Well, the Most High doesn't have you running the camp for this very reason. Your evil spirit and your wicked mentality and covetousness of men's souls, man. That's an Edomite type of spirit. The Lord said in the book of Sirach, the 7th chapter, right? Love not preeminence and seek not to be judged. You don't want to seek to be ruler, because a true ruler is given through the spirit of the Most High to rule because of his wisdom and something in him that the Most High sees that everybody else doesn't have, to be set up. Solomon's mind wasn't riches and women, right? His mind was what? Judgment. That lead these people as they go out and as they come in. And the Lord said, look, these men are not going to break their ranks, right? How many congregations have lost, right, all their men due to what? Men not keeping rank, not keeping position. Let's go to the book of 2nd Chronicles chapter 12 and verse number 38. And it reads, all these men of war that could keep rank came with a perfect heart to Hebron. So the Lord said David's army, they could keep rank. You don't want a brother that's just doing presumptuously his own thing. And you got to look at this biblically, but carnally applied to camp. Because if you got a brother doing his own thing, he's going to show up to camp whenever he wants to. He's going to leave early. He's not going to be prepared for war. He's hanging around. And he's not doing anything for the body in the camp. Right? He's like a nail waiting to be clipped, man. Right? He's here 1 minute, he's gone next. And either way you miss him or pain will be felt as he leaves the body. The Most High is not dealing with men like that. All these men of war that could keep rank came with a perfect heart to Hebron to make David king over all Israel. And all the rest also of Israel were of one heart to make David king. Meaning whoever that's in leadership position to rule or judge, your mind has to be to excel, you understand, what their request is righteously. But only humble men can do that. It takes a humble man to take order from another man that may be his own age, right? Maybe younger than him, right? Maybe a couple of years older than him. But it takes a humble man to see the order of the Most High, how it's set up, and how we should structure ourselves. You had a king in the Bible who was 7 years old when he reigned. Right? Are they not to listen to him because of his age? And they might get put to death. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book. Right? This whole thing, I got a lot of precepts. I want to go to Sirach. Right? Let me get this quick precept of Sirach. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse number 10. Right? And it reads, it says, I'm going to start at 8. Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned, right? Sodom, but abhorred them for their pride. So the Lord abhorred people for having pride. He pitied not the people of perdition who were taken away in their sins, nor the 600,000 footmen. The 600,000 footmen, right, is going into all of the men 20 years and older that were armed to go to war, right? When you read the book of Numbers. All right, let's go to Numbers, the first chapter. Those are the 600,000 footmen armed up, right, and ready to go to war. Right, so those men were armed and ready to go to war. It says, even all they that were numbered were 600,000 and 3,500. Who are these men that are numbered? The men that are going to war, taken by their poles, by the Levites. You understand? So all of those men, the Lord said he didn't spare those men, nor the 600,000 footmen who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. So you can have a vast army. You have 1 million Israelites. You can have 3,000 camps. You can have 100,000 camps. Or you could be in a camp it's a lot of large number of camps. I won't got to say no names. It's a lot of people that have a lot of men that's under them. But what does that mean if all of the camp is hardened in their heart? They're not of one mind. You got a lot of camps, they're small, but they flourish. They're of one mind, they're of one heart. They're knit and they're tied together, right? They move the same way. They know each other's heartbeat through the spirit. You got certain people that got chemistry on the court, man, right? He throwing a ball behind his back. He just know, right? His point guard going to be right there, or a shooting guard. He throwing up the alley hoop, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. He know he going to dunk it. He didn't even look behind him, but he know LeBron James tracking him. And he going to throw it off the backboard. He going to catch it, and he going to dunk it. That's chemistry. You want to have brothers in the camp, as you have a camp, that move in that type of spirit. You don't want a brother you questioning if he's going to show up, right? He don't ever tell you what's going on with him. He's secretive, right? And you can't really put your finger on what the hell is going on. That's not very assuring in an army, right? Let me get this quick precept in Numbers. Let's get Numbers, right? Chapter 11. And I'm going to start at verse 10, going into that account at a 600,000 footmen. Then Moses heard the people weep through their families, every man in the door of his tent. So he heard secretly people weeping, and he seen all of the people upset. And the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased, right? Check that out. So, the Most High, he sees your secret weeping, your voices, the things you're saying behind closed doors as a complete camp. And he's going to judge you if that's a spirit moving in sedition. Now, I'm going to get this quick precept. Also, you got to have humbleness in a camp. This is 2 Samuel chapter 18, right? In verse, I'm going to start at 3. But the people answered, thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, then they will not care for us. Neither if half of us die, will they care for us. Meaning, if you go to war, David, they're not going to care about us. They'll kill us. And if we flee away, look, they're not going to show us any mercy. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore, now it is better that thou secure us out of this city. So David's army said, look, David, you like worth 10,000 men. It's not wise for you to be here. Verse 4. And the king said unto them, what seemeth best, I will do. So, you have humbleness in the camp. This is the leader. This is the king. Even the king said, whatever seemeth best, I will do. And as you talk to brothers in the camp, you got to reason with one another. What's best for the body? It's not best for me, well, best for him, or he's a leader, he's not, and he's new. I have more seniority than you, brother. You only been in the camp 2 months. I've been in 7 years. I'm the top soldier. No, the Lord said, what seemeth you best, I will do. And that's beautiful that you have the mind, because whatever best collectively is best for the Lord, man, and best for the Most High, because we're all going to move in the same spirit. It's not going to be secret division or leaven or reasoning of, why did this happen, or, uprise of the people. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book, right, of 2 Samuel. I'm going to get 14, right? As a matter of fact, let me just jump down to verse 11. And it reads, and Joab said unto the man that told him, and behold, thou sawest him, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? and I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. Right? So you have Joab trying to bribe one of David's soldiers. And David commanded that no man put him to death. But yet you have one of his men, his captains, one of his rulers, going against the ordinances of David. But that's see the integrity of a man that's in the army and his soldier. And the man said unto Joab, though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in my hand, yet would I not put forth my hand against the king's son. And that's the type of spirit you got to have in a congregation. Best believe it may be secret chit chats and murmuring of we should separate. I don't think we should be in this camp no more. Or you know what, this brother, he's evil. Or this sister, who she thinks she is. Just because she got a lot of kids, or you know, who does this sister think she is, man? Just because she cooked the unleavened bread. Who does this sister think she is? Right? Just because they got more money than us. And she has her own car. And, you know, they'll murmur and they'll chit chat and have you to try to overthrow your own brother. It says, for in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Ittai, saying, beware that none toucheth the young man Absalom. So those men had integrity. They weren't bribed. And you could get bribed many ways, man. Right? Hey, look, I'm about to start my own camp. I am thinking about you being an officer. You know, you're going to be ruler. You get your own mitri, right? I got a personal staff for you. It's going to be chiseled out with your name engraved in the Hebrew. You know, and you know, the Most High kind of came to me via dream by night, right? He decking it all up, but his reasoning for leaving is because he's emotional, because he feels some type of way. You got to perceive and see these spirits, because this man could have got bribed for 100 shekels, right? Or receive 1,000 shekels of silver in his hand, and that's a lot of money, right? He could have took that, right, and took care of his family with it, but guess what? He didn't do it. He had integrity. He had a type of spirit and heart. So you have sedition heavily within Israel. Didn't Absalom try to have all the men kiss his hand? Right? Or kiss every man's hand, rather? It's 2 Samuel chapter 20, right? Right in verse number 1. And what happened with Sheba? This was also another sedition of an uprising against King David. And King David's righteous. How much more another camp, and nobody knows who King David is back on earth. But you have King David's army, but then you may have another army and another camp, and you know, order, it's being broken up by the hands of evil men. This is 2 Samuel 20:1. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bircher, a Benjamite. And he blew a trumpet and said, we have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the sons of Jesse, every man to his tent, O Israel. So he made a big deal, man. Everybody minding their business. He rose up, he blew the shofar, everybody looking to see what he about to say. Hey, look, man. He basically said, you know, that you know what, to forget King David. That's basically what he's saying right here. Look, forget him. This is what we about to do. And you know what? Some people followed him. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Bircher. Right? So this man, he created a sedition in division of Israel during his time. Now, King David could have had this man, you know, could have killed him, huh? Could do all things, you know, he's the king. David could have walked away. No, David's the king, and when your nation is divided, that's a serious matter. Now, let somebody knock on my door, kick down the door, and say, you know what, house of Uriah, you know, follow me. God forbid, that's evil. And do you have people rising up and just following this man? This had to be a sedition working on for a while. But the men of Judah clave unto their king from Jordan even to Jerusalem. So you have certain men that stayed with David. You have certain men that departed with David. That's the same thing as when camps divide, man. Camps break up. You know, 14 people go this way. These people go that way, or division in Israel, rather. Or whether a camp or whether not. It may just be a brotherhood or friendship. You know what? I'm siding more with him. You cut ties with that brother for no apparent reason because you're emotional, or because you don't understand the matter. Right? Jumping down to verse number 5. Right? It says, so Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him. This is the point. And David said to Abishai, now so Sheba, the son of Birkiah, do us more harm than did Absalom. Because Absalom tried to steal the men's heart of Israel and overthrow the whole nation through division. That's evil. Hey, that's one of the 6 things the Lord hates. Right? Let me get that real fast. Get that precept, and I'm going to hold this other precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Proverbs, chapter 6, right, in verse number 16. It says, these 6 things doeth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, right? And a proud look is how a lot of brothers look, down at their brother. It's not necessarily saying that, a brother has on nice attire. That's not necessarily what that's going into, although it can. But a proud look is looking down upon your brother like Esau. That's an eagle type of mentality. A proudness about yourself, as if you're on high and everybody else is under you. A lying tongue, right? You may lie about matters that overthrow households, councils, right? Governments, and hands that shed innocent blood, right? And that's literal and physical. And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. How can I split up the camp? How can I be my own camp leader? How can we overthrow this? Or now I'm thinking about ways I could play sick to not go to camp. Or maybe camp isn't for me. These are wicked imaginations the Most High hates. Feet that be swift to run to mission. Meaning what? You want to leave camp early to do your own desires. Here is this brother that never heard the truth before. He's intrigued. His mind is blown. He's asking 1,000 questions. And here you are, man. Your wife blowing you up, right? Or those tickets that you bought about to go to waste, man, when the sun go down. But your feet swift to do God knows what, to run out of the way, right? I mean, this is many-fold. Right? Could be running to a fight, running to, God knows what, man, adultery. It says, this the point, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. The Lord hates a man that sows discord among brethren. Because brethren are supposed to love one another. And Paul said through the Spirit, right, greet your brother with a holy kiss. John laid in the bosom of Yahushua. These men were so mighty and loved so much. They didn't have a mentality of, right, no diddy. Right? They didn't have that mentality. The Lord said in the book of Titus, the 1st chapter, to the pure, all things appear. Meaning, if a brother says something, you got people that saying, oh, that sounds suspect. Well, who's even thinking like that? Why is that even in your mind? The Lord said, to the pure, all things appear. But them that are not, even them that are defiled, man. A brother may say something, he has no idea and thinking the way you're perceiving it, and you're saying, no, HOMO. Right? You saying all of these wicked innuendos that have nothing to do with anything. Right? The Lord said, this is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 15, right? In verse 10. But Solomon sent spies throughout all Israel. So like the tribes of Israel saying, as soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then shall ye say Absalom reigneth in Hebron. So he created a sedition. And the Most High hated that. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem. Didn't the same thing Adonijah did in 1 Kings, the 1st chapter, verse 5, all the way down? He sent men to run by him by 50s. Right? Let me get that real fast. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 1 and verse 5, real fast. Then Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. While David was on his deathbed, about to give up the ghost, right? With the young virgin. Right? And it reads, and Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. Meaning these men weren't wise. If they were wise, you can't talk a man into doing anything. You can't talk a real man into doing anything. You can't manipulate a real man. A real man is going to judge off of the law, and he's going to know you have a demon on him. Right? The Lord said, he that is spiritual, judge of all things, yet himself is he is judged. Right? So he's going to view it from the scriptures. He's not going to view it emotionally. Yeah, brother, well, the Lord said all beasts resortive to their kind. I mean, it's always those brothers that don't want to labor hanging together. So is the brothers on fire that want to hang together. So is the sisters that want to labor that's hanging together. So is the sisters that hate their husband hanging together. It's always the adulterers hanging together. It's always the evil men and murderers and people that love gangs hanging together. All flesh is going to resort into its kind. So they knew not anything and they went in their simplicity, right? Meaning their ignorance, right? That's the same thing that happened when you read the book of Judges. Let me get this quick account. It's Judges chapter 9 and verse, right? Salaki. All right, this is the book of Judges chapter 9. I'm going to come back to this precept. Matter of fact, here it is. It says, and they went with him 80. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 3. And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all men of Shechem, all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech. So your heart may incline to follow, this camp. And we're not going to say any names. But did you do your research, brother? Do they teach according to the gospel? Are they sincere? Or are they not sincere? Or do they just want to covet women? Or do they just want to make a name for themselves? Or do they just want to get views or do God knows what? Don't let your heart incline into a man or a congregation without understanding why it is that you're inclining. You have to know, okay, well, they teach according to the book, no cut cards, no emotions. This is the camp that the Most High through prayer, fasting, counsel has led me to. For they say he is our brother. And you may say within your mind and your heart, hey, look, this is my brother. He wouldn't do me any wrong. He wouldn't do me any harm. And they gave him, right, 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Bethel Berith, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons which followed him. And that's off. He literally hired them with his own money. Right? To do what? To follow him around, to listen to everything he said. Some people are just yes men. They aren't in a spirit to where they could stand up for themselves and be men. Stand up and be a man, man. And if that means you got to walk by yourself, guess what, brother? You got to walk by yourself. It's been many of times where you had to walk by yourself in your life, right? It won't be the last time either, right? This is the book. Let me read on from 2 Samuel 20. I'm going to get this account. It says, and David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba, the son of Berechiah, do us more harm than did Absalom. Because Absalom sent out men to try to allure them and overthrow the nation. Take thou my Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. So David said, look, we got to act fast. Not only do we got to act fast, but if we don't, he could take fenced cities. Meaning once the root of evil is sprouted in somebody's mind and it's taking over this brother, guess what? It's going to take over that brother. It's going to take over that brother. It's going to take over that brother. Next thing you know, he's building up a fenced city. A brother take away 5 brothers from the camp. Next thing you know, it's 10 brothers. Next thing you know, it's 15 brothers. Next thing you know, it's the whole location. Verse 7. And there went out after him Joab's men, the Cherethites. So David was mighty and he had the Cherethites. Now the Cherethites are executioners. They were bodyguards that always camped around the king. And the Pelethites, now those men were personal, what they would call like bodyguards or something. Like you may have a celebrity or whatever the case may be. He may move and then you have the entourage and the bodyguards always with him, ready to put somebody to death at any given moment when the king gave judgment or command. And all that are mighty men, and they drew out of Jerusalem and pursued after Sheba, right, the son of Berechiah, right? When they pursued them, they hawked them down, man. Well, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Sirach, right? Chapter 43 and verse 10. Now, the sun don't ever get tired of shining. The moon don't never stop wanting to go in its cycles. right? The stars don't want to ever stop shining, right? The commandment of the Most High and the ordinances of the Spirit of these things, they're always in their watches. They never cease from their watches. You can't cease from your watch. The Most High has set you as a watchman for Israel. That's not just a camp name, right? That's the Most High setting you as a man to oversee. Be your brother's keeper. Take care of the wives, take care of the children, watch the inhabitants, see any threat, anything going on to blow the trumpet. That's Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter. You're set as a watchman. The Lord said, at the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in order. So at the commandment of the Holy One, are you going to stand in order? Or are you going to let your emotions, your desires, and your flesh rule over you, man? And this is talking about women too, because women are a part of the congregation. Women got to stand in order. How do women stand in order? Many ways, but supporting their husband, making sure that there's peace in the house, that your husband is well and able to do the work of the Most High, has everything that he needs to do the work of the Most High, is a part of the work of the Most High as a woman. If your husband comes home, right? Shoot, you're supposed to have highlighters. These things have to be laid out, man. Help the work of the Most High prosper. Put your brick in. Women can exhortate too, right? It said they stand in their watches and never faint in their watches. There's never been a time where the sun didn't come out, man. The sun said, look, I've had enough. But I've been here since the creation, but now this is my last day. I'm putting in my notice. No, the sun never fainted in his watches. That should show you one thing, man. The Most High is about order. The Most High is about consistency. The Most High is about dedication to something that he said he would do. And you have to have those same attributes as a man. Dedication. Dedicate yourself to the work of the Most High. Consistency. Be consistent in what you do. Nobody cares about that brother that scored 30 points a game for 3 games straight and the rest of the season he flunked. He's not talked about, nor is he glorified. Consistency is key. You can't pay your rent 3 months out of the year and want praise from your family. You have to consistently pay the bills, consistently read, consistently do the work. This thing is never going to stop. You put your hand to the plow and, now it's a lot of work to do. You're shoveling the dirt, you're sweating, you're trying to figure out when you get off. You never get off. You never get off. Brother, get used to the heat. Get used to this work, man. Get used to these counsels. Get used to fasting. Get used to praying. Get used to being like our forefathers were. Because that's the spirit we moving in, man. Verse 11. It says, look above the rainbow and praise him that made it very beautiful. Is it in the brightness thereof? Right? Because it's very beautiful in the brightness, right, of the rainbow through the spirit. Right, let me get this quick precept in the mighty book, right, of Isaiah, right, chapter 40. All right, just to get one more in there. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, and verse number 26, right? It says, lift up your eyes on high and behold, who art created these things, right? Meaning all of the things that are above, that bringeth out their hosts by number. Meaning the Most High knows all of the angels, all of the hosts by number. That's some serious order. You don't even know how many shirts you have in your closet. You don't even know how many pants you have. You may or may not know how many shoes you have. You don't even know if it's leftovers left in there or not, or should you cook when you get home? Did I eat it? I'm not sure if somebody else did. Man is unorganized. The Most High knows all of the stars to completion. He numbers up everything. And even of our forefathers, they numbered up all of the tribes. Benjamin, Levi, Judah. That takes time. Studying to be a priest, standing upon their watch, that takes time. It takes time for you to really learn and grasp how to do the work. That's why you can't be too hasty to be a teacher. And a lot of brothers, they just want to teach. They just want to teach because they see other brothers doing it and they want to move in that same spirit as if it's easy. Right, brother? Take time to study. I'm still in student mode, and I will always be in student mode. Right? I wouldn't even call myself a teacher. Right? I'm just trying to do the work of the Most High, wherever I could fit in. And whatever a brother can show me or teach me, I'm going to always listen, write it down, and Most High willing, apply it. The Most High put it in my spirit. And you have to be able to grasp, watch that you may be able to lead one day. Now, I'm going to bring these points out. If brothers could see this, you have brothers at camp. Right? I just pull up a random video, whatever the case may be, and I want to play it real fast. It's time to wake up and actually read. Our people don't read, man.
Right.
Give me the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 2. Why don't we read? Because we niggas, man. When are we going to be kings? When we going to wake up and truly embrace the image of the Lord? The Lord isn't a nigga. The Lord is the king of all the earth. Right. And we got to move as kings over all the earth. Bring that up.
This is Daniel 9, verse 2. Bring it up. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books.
I did what?
Understood by books.
I understood by books. That's how you understand, bro. You don't. So as you see camp the way it's structured, you got brothers in the back right here doing fishing. They're fishing. For all brothers that don't know what fishing is where you have camp going on, and then you have brothers off to the side pulling in fish. And that's very important because brothers may be intimidated by all of the brothers standing up, maybe 20 brothers, 15, 10, and then, understood by books. And you're like, whoa, what's going on over there, man? Now, let me take this other direction. You don't want to get in the limelight, right? Whether the camera be on. So brothers will stand to the side and they'll bring in the sheep and or give them a flyer or teach them on the side. Right? This brother right here through the side, he's holding posts, which is one of the most important things to do at camp. Him and his other brother. Now, holding posts could get strenuous. Nobody's an angel, right? And don't get tired and don't desire sleep and don't get hungry. And brothers will stand till the sun is up, till the sun goes down. Brothers will chime in on the lessons. Right? A lot of the times you may see the teacher, but you have to really understand too all of the other men, because everyone's just as important as the brother bringing out the word. These mighty kings right here are reading. Without the readers and the posts and all of the fishing and things you can't see on and off the camera, there can't be no work. I've never seen just a man with a screwdriver. No, you have a man that's in a tractor, right? A man bringing in the dump truck, dumping in the dirt. You have everybody a pivotal part. I don't understand about trusting in the society, trusting in the so-called white man, trusting in all of his education. Right. You understand about what, brother? About books.
Right.
You read the Zondervan Pack Bible Dictionary. Then you see the brother in the back, he waving the frankincense and myrrh, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to do that, right? But, it's through the spirit, and most definitely gives you that priestly type mentality in the tabernacle. Everybody's in order. Brothers are reading. Brothers are holding posts. Brothers are doing everything they can do to magnify the Most High name, and everybody that may seem like they're standing around or anything are accessing the situation. Time watching. Making sure that everything goes in decency and in order. Right? That's the mind of a camp. Now, this is just Watchman for Israel. I'm sure there are a lot of other brothers in other congregations that do a mighty job, right? That you could also watch and learn from through the spirit. Now, I want to get this real fast. How do ants work together? It says this: ants work together to attack threats from people. And the Most High said, right in the mighty book of Proverbs, let me get this quick precept. Study the ant. That don't mean just study the ant because he's in your backyard, man. He won't leave. He just won't leave. He's always in your backyard. So why not study him? No, the Lord said, it's the book of Proverbs 6 and verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Why do we have to go to the ant? Let's go to the ant right now. It says ants work together. Man has to work together. Congregation has to work together. You and your household have to work together to attack threats from people. Now, if somebody's coming up, what do we have to do as a congregation? We have to work together. Animals and other ant colonies. Ants have even been shown, right, to group together to create rafts to ensure colony survival. So they'll grab together and hold one another tight that they may form a ball, so when raindrops and floods come, they don't all slither away and you don't ever see them again. Ants are also very clever when it comes to work, meaning they'll find situations that seemingly are impossible to do or to move. They'll band together with three, or they'll go over the hill instead of under the hill, when they'll work cleverly to come up to do the work. Now, check this out. The Lord said, go to the ant. A day in the life of an ant, right? Ants are a remarkable species. They are highly organized. You have to be highly organized, man. The Most High is highly organized. You don't want your household a mess. You don't know what's going on. You don't want your congregation a mess. You got to clean it out and access demons and spirits, rightly divide the word of truth, hold counsels, and get things in order. They are highly organized, hardworking, and can survive almost anywhere. And that's spiritual too. Why is that spiritual? Because you should be able to thrive in any atmosphere, right? Through the spirit, by not being fearful, no matter if you're around comfortability or you're by yourself. You should be able to survive anywhere. To get a glimpse into their world, let's take a look at what a single day looks like for an ant. A typical day will vary between species. Some are more active in the daytime, whilst others are nocturnes, right? Salakia. At sunrise, ant colony stirs to life, right? Let me read that again. At sunrise, the ant colony stirs to life. I mean, it can't, Salakia, ants aren't in the bed all day. They're not chilling. They're rising up early in the morning. The Lord said at Salakia, this article says at sunrise, the ant colony stirs to life, meaning they start to get ready, man. They put their boots on. They put their worker hat on, right? They roll up their sleeves and they start to work together. And that's spiritual because sunrise represents light, represents wisdom and knowledge. And once that hits you, you have to stir to life and do the work. It says an ant emerges from the underground homes and immediately starts searching for food. So it doesn't take an ant a while to start looking for food, man. As soon as he get up, he going to work. He's searching for food. He's not searching for food for himself necessarily. He's searching for food for the whole colony to bring back, to break bread, right, with his fellow antmen, right? And I'm not going to necessarily read this whole thing, right? But I mean, you have to study the ant, right? I want to get this other article. Now, this is Esau's curriculum, right? We're not following Esau's curriculum, but just to show you the order and the mind of being a soldier, even in this man's society. It takes you 10 weeks of his curriculum before you could call yourself a soldier. And that's spiritual too, because you can't just go do the work. Now, ain't nobody's Paul on the earth, and he conferred not with flesh and blood. Every man is not Paul. There'll be some men that have to take notes and take time and watch and learn and study and ask men of counsel and men that are before them and elders. How do I do this? How do I teach in this certain situation? I watch many elders before I start teaching the way they handle a crowd, the way they shutting this man down and he ignoring him. They dealing with this point. If you step over the signs, you will get pushed back, right? Nothing's carnal, but we damn sure going to check it, right? Everything was moving in the spirit, right? As a quarterback on a play as the game is going on. It says your biggest steps is your first one. All right, check this out. Your 10-week introduction to the army. So if you wanted to join this man's system, this is what it would look like. Your first In your second week, it says in the first phase, you'll start to adapt to Army life and learn about discipline. The first thing they ingrain into you in an Army, even in this man's society, is discipline. You have to have discipline. You can't join the camp and leave the camp, or been laboring for 6 weeks or a year and pull away. They even teach you that in this man's world. Discipline, teamwork, Army program traditions, and more. Learn Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfness, service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. So as you're sitting up there trying to join this man's army, he's inbreeding unto you not carnal things first, but things that you can apply unto you. Because before you can go hard to do the teaching and be your brother's keeper and do the things you really need in a congregation, you have to be loyal. You have to have respect, right? You have to have courage, right? You have to go through integrity and have these things. Begin in physical, tactical, military training. Build confidence and teamwork by navigating obstacle courses and other terrain, right? By your third and fourth week, being familiarized and training with your assigned weapons, right? 5 weeks, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Expand your skills and understanding of basic rifle, right? Marksmanship, maintenance, and target engagement. By your 8th and 10th week, learn how to handle more advanced weaponry like machine guns, grenades. Check that out. So by this time, you're kind of graduating and getting to where you want to be in the Army, right? And this mass system. That's why, like, a lot of the times, a lot of people that have certain things called prospecting, where you may try to prospect into a camp. And brothers don't know you, man. You could be a spy. You could be an agent. You have to try the spirit by the spirit. The Lord said, believe not every spirit. Right? We have to try brothers, man. My brothers have their wives around, their children around. You know, you don't want to look this way. Next thing you know, a brother plotting on something behind your back. Right? You look through the mirror, you see him looking at you, staring you in the back of your head. Right? So, I mean, prospecting is very important too. And a lot of brothers, you know, God forbid, don't want to prospect. They just want to jump straight into it. Well, prospect teaches you discipline, man, when you join the camp. Right? Anything worth working for to obtain is going to be with hard work. Right? Let me get this quick precept in Galatians. It's the book of Galatians. Hey, the Most High don't congratulate you every day, man. Hey, last time I checked, the Lord said, well done, thy good and faithful servant. That's in the day of the Lord. Right? It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 4. But let every man prove his own work. You have to prove the work that you're doing. And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. Right? So then could you truly have rejoicing, right, in the work that you have done by completing a prospect program, right, by joining the camp, by laboring, by setting your hand to the plow. You want to have rejoice in your works, right? It's different when you study and you pass a quiz than cheating and getting the right answers. So more of a strong mentality, right, of self-gratitude, right, and an accomplishment by you accomplishing these things and overhyping these feats. But then when you just studying or whatever the case may be, you don't feel as good, right? So when you work and you're in the rain, you're in the snow, and all of these things are going on, best believe when you finally overcome, you understand, finally join the brotherhood, join the sisterhood, right? This is forever, man, through the spirit. And not only for a camp, but just trying your brother and your sister spirit. Because you have friends of the world that wanted to get you drunk, get you high, and get you to do evil. But then when you finally meet a brother or a sister that's in the truth, and y'all under the same mind, and y'all try one another's spirits, that's going to be a forever bond, like Jonathan and David, like that mentality of being of one heart and of one mind. Right? I want to get maybe 2 more precepts and close out. I want to get this real fast. In the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, right? In verse 12. For as the body is one and have many members, right? I mean, you have cameramen, you have teachers, you have readers, you have brothers that hold posts, You have brothers that are taking notes. You have brothers that are in type of you got scribe departments, right? You got inventory sections right at the camps, and a camp just don't run, right? You have to have group chats, meetings, calls, right? Any business or organization is going to be ran in order, right? And how do you get it to grow, right? And how do you get it to expand? By being in order, by these many members. And all the members of that body, that one body being many, are one body. So also is Yahushua, right? Jump into verse number 14. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? Meaning you can't just say that I don't feel important, or, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe I'm not appreciated. And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, it is therefore not of the body. Meaning just because you feel this way doesn't mean that you're not appreciated. And if the whole body were an eye, right? So like it were an eye, where were the hearing? And if the whole were hearing, where were the smelling, right? But now have God set the members, every one of them, in the body as it pleaseth him. And that's one of the most important parts, because wherever you are or whatever knowledge you obtain or grow in is where the Most High wanted to put you. Because everybody has a spiritual gift. You have to stir up that gift, man. Everybody has a spiritual gift to magnify the Most High's name. You have to find that. And the Most High has put every member as it is pleased of him. Because where I may not excel in, this brother does. And if they were all one member, where were the body? I mean, everybody can't be one member. Everybody can't be the teacher. Everybody can't be the reader. Everybody can't execute the cooking. It says, but now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of thee. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. Right? And thinking about how a husband and the wife is, yeah, the husband is over the wife, but guess what, man? If the wife wasn't there, how would the husband stand? Yeah, we can quote all of these carnal things that a wife does, which are very well appreciated: cooking, cleaning, tending to the children, which a lot of men couldn't do with their work schedules, right? In a laboring man of the Most High. But how much more spiritually, man? Being that pillar of rest to her husband. Yeah, she may seem more feeble to the outside, but she's very well necessary, man, right? According to that mind and that body in that house. It says, and those members of the body, which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor. And of our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. And this is making me think of David. Because David was looked at amongst his house as feeble, small, young. But yet he's more honorable, right, than his taller brothers and older brothers. For our comely parts have no need, but God hath tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacketh, that there should be no schism in the body. Right? The Most High said there shall not be a schism in the body. Right? You can't have any schisms, right, in the body. Let's get what a definition of a schism is.
Schism.
Division. If there's division in the body's not going to function. I've never woke up and my arm was in the bathroom and my other arm was trying to get in the car. Split, rift, breach, right? Rupture, break, separation. Check that out, man. Discord. It's one of the 6 things the Lord hates. Disagreement. So there shouldn't be any schisms in the body of the Lord, but that the members should have the same care one for another, meaning no respect to persons. In the same way I feel is the same way how you telling me you feel, I'm going to appreciate the same way as if I was saying it of myself. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. What is that? That's group fasting. That's laboring with your congregation. That's being a brother in deed and not just word. You know, a brother may say, look, hey, brother, I die for you, man. And the Lord said in the book of Romans, the 5th chapter, "But a righteous man will once scarcely die." Right, let me get this real fast. It's Romans chapter 5, right, in verse number 7. "For scarcely for a righteous man will one die." Meaning, I mean, this brother could be one of the most valuable brothers in the city. He got a key to the city, right? He could be doing all these good deeds and feeding the homeless. And if it's a shootout, scarcely is somebody going to say, "Well, I have to save this brother." Every man's going to fend for himself. Yet peradventure, for a good man, some would even dare to die. I mean, it's very slim for somebody to want to take that for you and die. So people aren't trying to treat you the same. But the Lord said, "And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it." So if you're suffering, the whole body should fast. Brothers should give you counsel. Brothers should pull up on you and uplift your spirits. I mean, what if you catch in hell when you kind of in misery and you kind of in depression, right? You let that be known to the body, and then 4 brothers pull up to your house with a bottle of wine, play some music, whatever the case may be, start talking to you, or say, "Hey, let's get out the house." Get out the house, drive around, go somewhere, whatever the case may be, take your mind off of it. I mean, you need those type of things, man. Right? Release a precept. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Where it's like, oh man, what is it? It's not water. It's like honey, something like that to the spirit. See if I can get this quick precept. Right? Pleasant words are as in honeycomb. Right? So, I mean, yeah, you want to get the precepts all the time, but sometimes brothers just want to pull up on you and talk to you, man. Sisters just want to check on you. Welfare check. Just making sure you all right. You know, even in the world, they say kicking you know what. A pleasant words are as in honeycomb. Hey, what's going on, Ak, man? Like, give me the rundown. Sometimes you need a brother to talk to, man. And brother not going to confess to you, "Hey, Ak, I need somebody to talk to, Ak." Because everybody's so manly and everybody's so strong. But I mean, that's why in these movies, everybody always on the porch drinking a 40. Whether they know it or not, I don't want to say the word need, but they confide in one another, man. Like, let me tell you what Keisha did, man. He drinking and he being his nigga ways, and he's really getting off stress and communicating and receiving sometimes pleasant words from somebody that he can apply. And that's carnally. But how much more would a man of wisdom and understanding may call up a brother? "Hey, Ak, I was thinking about XYZ." I mean, that's beautiful in a congregation to have those type of resources. And you may call because you need help. Guess what? This brother over here, he's a mechanic. This brother over here is a teacher. But this brother over here has carnal knowledge and finances. And all of that benefits you as a body and congregate. Sweet to the soul and health to the bones. So, I mean, sometimes you just need somebody to suffer with you, like Job's 3 friends. When they pulled up on him to mourn, they said they set an appointed time to mourn with him. Or one member should be honored, all the members rejoice with it. Meaning when he is prospering, we all prosper. That's the spirit we got to have as one another, with no schisms, no breaks, in an army, in a congregation, and in the camp. Right, but let me get this closing precept. This is the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse, right, number 2. "Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before Yahweh." Right? I mean, you always have to be vigilant and watch, right? Because the Most High has not found your works perfect before him. There's almost more work to do and more work to put in. "Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee." So continue to be vigilant, continue to keep watch, continue to make your body a living sacrifice. Don't listen or adhere to gainsayers, evil men, seducers. Stay wise, and by all means make your body a living sacrifice. I'm gonna say that 7 times over. because this life isn't about you. You got one opportunity and one chance to labor for the Most High, one chance to make your body living sacrifice, one chance and one lot and one destiny of why you are alive before all hell breaks loose to do the will of the Most High. But with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach, Malak Yahushua, Shalom.